What up, squad? It's your friendly neighborhood Robo-Riv back with another episode of AONR Draws, and this will be another short one, another quickie. This one was specifically done for Comic-Con this year. I drew it earlier this year, probably a few weeks before the actual event. Me being forever the opportunist, I thought it would be a cool idea to draw the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Rooker as Yondu, as he was at Comic-Con here in Nebraska this year. So I thought it would be cool to offer a few prints, a few limited prints of him doing his Yondu thing, doing his whistling while he works with his arrow. So this was a pretty fun drawing, even though it didn't quite get the response that, as far as the prints go, didn't quite get the response that I would have liked it to have gotten. I still have quite a few Yondu prints on me right now, so I'm planning on seeing what those do on eBay. Matter of fact, as you're watching this, I probably have a few prints on my eBay. So if you're interested in that, maybe I will provide a link here in my in the description of this video. If I forget to do it there, I will have it on my link tree. So if you follow me on Instagram, if you click the link in my bio, it'll take you to my link tree and everything with all the links for everything me and everything Black Rivers Studios, which is my comic book label, and we are working on some cool stuff. I'll be making some videos about that as well. But enough chit chatter about that. We'll get into this drawing here. As you can see, I had a heck of a time trying to get that likeness, and I changed his facial expression a few times earlier in the rough sketch, but it's very important to try to do as much redrawing in the rough form as possible, because it makes everything else go so much simpler. So once I had a nice rough sketch of where I wanted to go with this, I proceeded to pencil it, as you're seeing right now. And I'd have to say, penciling this drawing, the penciling on this drawing is probably the most fun I had working on this. The inking was fine too, and the coloring was I honestly kind of struggled a little bit with the colors, not because I didn't know how I was going to color it per se. It was just kind of I was over it. I was over it by then. Here you see me messing around with the expression again. It was really difficult to try to make it look like Michael Rooker and have him whistling, but I also kind of wanted a little bit of that smirk in there too. I had a little bit of a time trying to capture that the way I wanted it to, but I think it did an okay job at that, at the very least. I have to say, outside of the portrayal of Yondu in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, I don't have a huge point of reference for him as far as the comic books go. I think in all the years that I've kind of gone back and forth between reading comics, not reading comics, and I started reading comics at pretty young age. My dad always had a ton of comics, always around. But out of all those opportunities, I may have seen Yondu in a handful of books. He might have popped up in, and it wasn't this version. It was his how he originally appeared, with a huge red fin and the more buccaneer boots kind of look to him. But I always thought he was a pretty visually interesting character, especially that version of him. But I don't really have any huge attachment to him outside the movies, which are fantastic, by the way. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that. If you're watching this video, you probably have seen, at least one of the Guardians movies by now. the third Guardians movie, that's the only one of those movies that I didn't see in the theater. And when it came on Disney Plus and I checked it out on there, I wish that I had seen it in the theaters. It's a very strong conclusion to the series. Now for the colors on this one, you see I took, there's a sort of a green and a purple lighting that I have kind of reflecting a little bit off of Yondu's face there. I just thought that was a pretty visually striking way to do it. I knew while I was penciling it, I knew that I wanted to add a blur effect on his arrow there, so you'll see me implement that pretty soon. And that's pretty simple to do too. I think I just magic lassoed it. After I was finished with the colors, finished rendering out, I flattened everything and copied the layer on top of each other, copied and pasted on top of the artwork, and then just did a lasso tool selection around the arrow and in a Gaussian or a motion blur on that, and then just kind of used a layer mask on that top layer to kind of erase, the excess blur that I didn't want to have on there. If I remember correctly, it's kind of interesting, like with some of this artwork. I guess it's something I'm gonna continue to work on, is kind of remembering my process out as I'm creating it, because it's so easy to work on something and then when you come back to it a while later, and forgot what you did. I added a little bit of a nebula effect with a cool brush that I have in Procreate, and added some additional little dots on there for the stars. And yeah, it's pretty much good to go. Just adding in his little chin hairs, and there he is. There's Yondu at your service. Mary Poppins, y'all, all that good stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed this short but sweet episode of AONR Draws. If you'd like to see more or have any suggestions on future episodes, feel free to email me at riversdraws@gmail.com, or just subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification button. That way you will be notified when a new episode is available. And yeah, that's about it for today, guys. I will catch you not next week, but the week after that. Thanks for watching. Love you. Peace.